Welcome back to The Blueprint. Tonight we have a special guest that I doubt that if you live in Marshall, you don't know. Troy Deutz, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me in.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We're so excited to have you here.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Just like this weather.
I know. I'm hoping for a brown Christmas.
My kids will be sad, but it'll be good.
Well, we can use some fake snow maybe,
I'll
better than the real one.
I'll put you on that. I'll put you on that.
There you go. Oh my gosh, you guys, Troy wears so many hats and we're so excited to have him here talking with us and sharing his experience with us. So we kind of talked about it a little bit before. So farmer, auctioneer, entrepreneur, and real estate agent. Did I cover it all?
Yep. Husband, dad.
Yeah.
Those are pretty important.
That's awesome. Yes. Okay, so tell us, how did you get started on like your entrepreneurship career, your real estate, all of those? Like,
So my grandfather and my dad are entrepreneurs at heart. They were always doing something. They were, primarily auctioneers and farmers, but they were always businessmen. So growing up around that, and just being a part of it made me want to be like that and be never just pigeonhole myself. So I guess that's kind of why I do the multiple avenues. Real estate is my primary focus. Thankful to be able to have that be my primary focus because it's not that for everyone.
right.
So feel very fortunate to have my team and that going on. And then the farming is another cool thing that, you're born into farming, essentially. You can't, there's not too many people that just say one day I want to farm and then they're doing it. And then same with the auctioneering. Was born into that a little bit, but that's kind of baptism by fire. It's always fun to do the benefits and the gala and the gold rush for the college, and there's a couple other ones. So that's a really fun, easy way to be involved in the community. But how I got into real estate specifically would be my dad had his real estate license because as an auctioneer, someone has to have the real estate license. Mm-hmm. So he had it, and then, as his career was going on, the writing was kind of on the wall that, Troy, you should probably get your license. Actually, really, it's kind of a funny story why I got my license. My dad would, from time to time, kick me into an open house when he wanted to go play some golf or something. He didn't want to be at the open house himself, so he would do that. Well, I showed a house for him back, I don't know, like 9 years ago. And another agent found out, and they didn't like that. And they said, well, he's not licensed. He can't show a house. And so they turned him in for that, and he got a small dinger or fine or something like that. So I got my license because of that, or it expedited it. And I don't think she likes that decision that she turned my dad in very much now. So that's the real reason why I got licensed. And someone else needed it for the auctioneering company. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's how I got into it.
And for how long? I feel like your family, it's been on the auctioneering business for many, many years around this area, right?
Yeah, my grandfather, who has since passed, Ted, started the business a long, long time ago. He had 3 boys that were involved, 2 of them auctioneers, and then one that handles the books and makes sure everything's in line. And then there's each one of those 3 boys all have 2 of them have 1 son, and one of them has 2 sons involved. So that's the majority of who's involved with our crew on that. So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun business.
Can you kind of talk about, I feel like that's such a unique career that we don't hear too many people around here, like being auctioneers. Can you kind of talk a little bit about the process? Like, how do you become an auctioneer? Like, I would not even know how to start.
You get lectured on site, on demand, and it is baptism by fire. If unfortunately none of you guys knew my grandfather, but he always would make you crack a smile, and you knew what he was thinking, and he could remember a name. Oh, my God, could that man remember a name? Same with my dad and some of my uncles. But, just going to the auctions, you learn about the process, and farmers, all in all, aren't that patient, my family specifically. So you either keep up or get the heck out of the way, so you choose to keep up. But anyways, you start practicing, and, I started practicing with tongue twisters. So like Betty Botter is the one that I practiced a lot. And then one day, you just go do it. So my first auction ever was the Gala Ball.
So you started off big.
I would say the Gala Ball was bigger before your time, George, here, when it was down in the college, down in the RA. I would say it was a little better attended then. So it was very, anybody who's kind of somebody, it seemed like, was there. So people wear their nice clothes and stuff you don't see in Marshall, Minnesota, unless you're George Taylor, who's looking like that every day. So it was fun, but yeah, that was nerve-wracking. That was my first time auctioneering.
Yeah.
So super fun.
Do you have to take an exam or something?
Yeah, don't piss off your dad exam.
That sounds like a hard one.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. So
good, yeah.
Just practice.
Yeah, no. So farming, you said, is with the family real estate too. Can I kind of put a hard question, I guess, into real estate?
Yeah.
How do you feel it's being a real estate agent in a small town like we are, that there's more agents than even homes in the market? How do you deal with that? There's significantly more
agents than do you know how many agents are in the Marshall market?
I honestly don't.
Do you know how many homes there are right now?
About a dozen?
It's a pretty good guess. As of today, there were 17 homes on the active market. And I haven't totaled the number up in a little bit, but we're 45 agents in Marshall. Gosh. And I would say 6-7 of those are making up 90% of the business. Wow. So.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know if I answered your question, though.
Yeah, you did. Okay. And how do you keep up with that? How, because it's a very competitive market then for you to be a real estate with 45 people fighting for, not fighting, but
you are
competing
call
for
it what it is.
Homes
this
on the
is
market.
Adult podcast, right? We're trying to learn something in entrepreneurship. You're competing for that business. Yep. It's not kumbaya all the time. And there's people that don't make positive returns that are in real estate. And you hear about that a lot on the news and stuff. Not so much here, but it's super competitive. How do I handle it? I don't know. I have a great team. I've got 2 agents on my team that are seasoned and go-getters. Kaylee Swenson and Cynthia Rogers. And then we have our lovely full-time assistant, Kelly Walling. So that's, they make things go.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone's super competitive and we build each other up and we all want to be successful. We're all driven. We've all done it. Cynthia's done it for over 20 years. Kaylee's 3 years. I'm 7 years. So yeah, it's fun. And the community, small town community, how do you do it? You treat the community good, the community's going to treat you good. Yeah. Period. Yeah. It's really fun. It's easy to give back to Marshall. For me. It's something that me and my family are passionate about, what my team is passionate about. So it's been fun. And I've only had the team for about a year and a half now. So that was a good thing, a good business transition for me because I was kind of burning that both ends a little too much.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about burning ends a little too much. You have a lot going on. You're a busy person. How do you keep the balance of your personal life with work life and making sure that's a healthy balance?
My wife really helped me get there. So that was super fun for me. I shouldn't say it was super fun for me, but I'm super lucky that she, helped me with that, and Adina did Adina Realty. So that's my brokerage. Did a nice job helping me step into that. Thankfully when I finally put it out there that I want to get my own assistant, which is an employee that I'm paying out of my own pocket. Had a ton of applicants from Indeed.com. It just surprised the heck out of me. I think I had 55 apply.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't an earth-shattering wage that I threw up there to start or anything like that. So that was a super fun experience just to interview a lot of people. And I'm super thankful that we have Kelly. So she makes my life so convenient. She's actually on maternity leave right now. She just had a baby here a couple weeks ago, so we miss her. But thankfully, the real estate market is typically slower from Thanksgiving through the Super Bowl, specifically here. So that makes that a little easier. And then Cynthia always kind of said she'd come with me if I started the team, and she did. And then Kaylee came and joined us from another brokerage, and she's been a firecracker out the gate. That girl doesn't know how to not work. She's just go, 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 go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. So, having that team, making sure they're always taken care of. If I'm farming in the fall or something like that, I know I can count on one of them to take one of my clients to a house if I can't get there or something like that. And we all have similar goals. We always make it about the client first. If you make it about the money, things aren't going to work out. If you don't worry about the money and you put the clients first, everything will work out just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another, not really hard question, but kind of on the spot.
Okay.
What do you how do you perceive the market now that the interest is a little bit higher? Like, and kind of like a double question, where do you see it going in 5 years from now?
Well, I tell you what, if I knew where it was going, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be sitting on a beach and people would pay a lot of money to talk to me.
I love that.
But so the market is fine right now. It's not anything like it was in the 80s. It's not crazy like that. And it's actually come back down. We've had 3 weeks, I believe, of consecutive rate drops because it was touching 8%. And now I've had a couple people that are getting quotes in the high sixes again, but mostly low 7, right around 7%. So that definitely gives people some PTSD because they saw all their friends get 3% interest rates, or around there. And they were struggling to comprehend why they can't get that. And they're just, I don't know. It slows the market down. So all those people that have those low interest rates, a lot of people refinanced, or, most people are going to be between that 3.5%. And there's less and less as each year goes by. But the thing is, the market still has to have a lot of the things that happen every day, no matter what. You have deaths, you have diamonds, you have divorces, children grow. People have more children, so they need more space. People get older, so they need less space and they need less stairs. Those things are always going to happen in some capacity, no matter what. So what makes real estate kind of fun right now is 40, 45 agents. I might be a little off on that number. But those agents that aren't as full-time or are not as skilled, because anyone could sell a house when the market was hot, are now going to be pushed out.
Right.
And the people that are good at what they do and lean into it are going to be successful. Yep. And the clients that are making harder decisions now because they're spending a lot more money are going to gravitate towards those agents. So that's fun.
Yeah, all good stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not all good. The market's slower. It's significantly slower than what it was when things were popping off. And you put a cardboard box for the listing photo and the thing would sell for $300,000 there for a little bit. It was weird, but, and that's an exaggeration, obviously, but yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, the top agents stay steady with things, and I would say they're all thankful to be steady with it because a lot of people aren't right now.
Right. And thinking about the top agents, is there any specific traits you see to be successful in this industry?
I mean, I would say there's multiple. You have to have people skills. I mean, communication skills, honest, and then you have to be able to negotiate and have business intellect and think on your feet. We were actually meeting with Aaron Zemer with Marshall Radio today to think of some new ads for our team, and we were trying to think of a new slogan, and we were thinking about putting one with the word chaos in it.
There you go.
Because that's essentially what a real estate agent does, is you deal with constant chaos. Because people hire a real estate agent to handle those problems that they don't know how to handle. Right. Inspections, mortgage issues, look for certain things in a home. So that's what people want, is that expertise and guidance, and be able to do that with a professional manner and be calm about it. You're handling most people's biggest asset that they'll ever have. So that's pretty cool.
Do you have any tips for first-time home buyers?
A first-time home buyer, buy sooner. Buy sooner. I mean, appreciation over time, regardless of the interest rates. You can refinance in time, and if rates continue to go up, you're going to be happy that you got a 7% interest rate. If they go down, you can refinance. And it's a little more in depth than that. But honestly, go through the process of getting pre-approved. See if there's a first-time homebuyer's plan out there, and talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to an agent, talk to a lender, and talk to them about some of their, regrets or things that they're happy that they did with home ownership. More often than not, you're going to be very happy with that. And there's proven statistics over and over again that people that own a home versus renters have a much higher net worth over their lifetime. To give you the specific numbers, I actually read that in a daily newsletter I read every day called the Daily Brew. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I don't have a home yet, so I'm for sure taking notes of everything. Rewatch the episode and kind of go through
Go
stuff.
talk to a lender first.
Yeah.
A lender's a good start, or a realtor. Just go talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to do? Figure out which loan you'd qualify for so you can figure out how much down payment you need.
Mm-hmm.
And then where you want to live, so you can figure out budgets and what kind of career path that you need to live the lifestyle that you want.
Right.
I really wish they would teach more careers classes, in high school where, a day where you learn how to do laundry, a day where you learn how to change a flat tire, a day where you learn about paying a bill, those type of things. So it'd be fun to see more of that. And they're getting there. They're doing the CEO program in town now, which is so awesome.
Amazing. Yes. No, I was actually talking to Shonda yesterday. We had a business after hours at CTI.
Yeah.
And those kids are getting out of high school. I mean, they're not kids, they're teenagers, almost adults. They're getting out of high school with so much more ahead than any other kid that did not have those experience. Either CTI, CEO, any of those programs are just amazing. And it's great to see those in this area, right? Like, it's just enriching more and more our community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for someone that is listening for us, college students, high schoolers that do want to get into real estate?
Well, I mean, you can absolutely call me. You can look me up on Instagram. Unfortunately, TikTok. I'm not very good at that, but if you're not growing, you're dying. Or Facebook, you can look me up that way. But if you're looking to get into real estate, I would say the one piece of advice, outside of getting licensed and doing your coursework, is get someone that has proven to be successful in that industry, and ask if you can shadow them or join their team, because that's where you're going to learn. You're not going to make any money right away. You'll have a couple friends that might buy a house, or your parents or something like that. But go shadow them, do their dirty work, ask them how you can help, and go along on their appointments if they will let you.
That's awesome.
That's how you're going to learn. You won't learn anything. I mean, you'll learn something from the textbooks, but it's all terminology.
Right.
It's not real life experience.
George is like, what are you guys talking about? No, I'm joking. I feel like George is the biggest person to support like this experiential learning, and I feel like you learn so much more.
Yeah. Amen.
Yep. College was great experience being involved with the center, just getting to do things that I thought I would never be able to do as maybe an intern, or starting as a small out of college student that we were given to do.
Right.
Like,
he's brought a whole new dynamic to SMSU. They're very lucky to have him. I mean, this wouldn't be happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know if it was his idea or whose idea this was, but I mean, you're taking the steps, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like you just said, if you're not growing, you're dying. So we better be growing, right?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Going off with like the center, entrepreneurship, all of that. Do you have any like big obstacles that you went through your career that now you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, like that was maybe a hard thing that you overcame or many things?
Yeah, I mean, I did internships in college, but they were more ag-related backgrounds, and I worked for a co-op right out of college, and oh my God, I hated it. I hated every day of that job. I learned what I didn't want to do pretty quick. Thankfully, my parents instilled a good work ethic in me, and that helped drive me, and, work hard, play hard. That's what my family has always done, so... I like nice things. I like going on vacations, and you don't get to do that stuff. I mean, you can do it if you like debt, but, work hard, see the fruits of your labor from it, and take a chance, Go take a chance.
Yeah.
It's so overwhelming. I talk to people all the time about buying buildings and that they've been leasing for 15 years, and they're around 40 years old, and they don't want to buy the building. I'm like, what are you doing? You're set up. You want to just keep paying the landlord this? And I don't know. People are so afraid to take a chance and bet on themselves.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what you can do when you take a chance. So for me, I'm not going to take you through all my career steps unless that's something you want to talk about. But I had a very good job with, I worked for Relco so I went from co-op to Relco. Nutrition as a district sales manager, and then I went from Relco to Syngenta. So Syngenta is a national company as a district sales manager for them. And that was a very good job. They paid me a very generous salary. They gave me a truck. They gave me health insurance, car insurance, a per diem for food. I mean, you didn't pay for squat. You got all these clothes, computer, home office. I mean, it was great. They spoiled you, really. So I was doing real estate at the same time. And that'd be another thing I'd tell a person considering doing real estate. Don't just jump into it and expect that's going to be your living. You should be doing something else. Mm-hmm. Get your GED. I went to college. I went to SDSU. Very happy that I did that. I have a lot of skills that I use today. But do those things. But do a job on the side with your real estate right away until you can become established. So I got to the point where I was getting pretty dang busy. So I gave up all these things. What do you think a guy pays for health insurance? This just blows my mind. Me and my wife talk about this a lot. Health insurance for my family. So we have 2 little boys, a 2 and a 3-year-old, and us, and we're both of pretty good health. No cancer or anything like that. What do you think health insurance costs?
Probably, I don't even know, like...
You got to guess. It's no fun if you don't guess.
Let me guess. Gosh, it's hard. I feel like...
Just throw a number out there. There's not a bad answer.
Just as a single college student, it's crazy expensive already.
But this is what we want to talk about,
So I would think it's like, what, 10,000?
22 grand.
22 grand?
That's before you go to a single appointment. That's what my family pays.
That's crazy.
So those are the things you have to weigh when you go into it. So that was a hard decision for me. So you have your salary that you lose. You lose the free brand new truck, unlimited gas, insurance. So, I mean, it was a big chance.
Right.
Granted, though, I was busy and was getting busier. I'm like, I need to leave this behind and go with this and run with it.
Yeah.
So bet on yourself, kind of like what we talked about earlier.
Yeah. And like you said, I bet that took a lot for you because people...
Yes and no.
We tend to be more like hesitant on taking risks, especially like you're saying like you're paying 20 grand in just health insurance.
22 grand.
22. Sorry, I forgot the 2. But like it's a big like... It's not a big risk because you're betting on yourself. You know your skills.
It's
how
risk,
much you're
but you got to believe in yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's just a really important thing. Do your due diligence. Surround yourself with good people. Do the right things, and ask questions. Be curious. There's a lot of fun projects that I've got to sit in on because of being in real estate and being involved in the community.
Yeah.
People want to get your opinions and they want you to be involved. So it's fun.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Do you talking about success, betting on yourself and just going all for it? Was there like, what was the biggest thing you accomplished on your business? And I won't even put like that you didn't think you would, because I feel like you need to believe yourself, like if you don't, who will? But like, what was the biggest success you had that you're really like, oh yes, like I got
I'm proud of, or like that surprised me?
Yeah, that surprised you.
I would say like what surprised me is, my first year, I was fortunate enough to be the top ranked agent in Marshall and Lyon County. I'm like, cool. Like I can do this.
Yep.
And then I think it was in the middle of my second year that I left my job with Syngenta. I'd have to go back and look, but that was just really cool. And it was kind of because my life was not hunky dory. I mean, I had I shouldn't say it wasn't hunky dory. My life's been really good, but I had questions and self-doubt and I worried a lot, like, how am I going to be able to support my new wife? We want to have kids. I had 2 dogs at the time. What will my dogs think of me? That kind of stuff, like, am I going to do it? So, and then you start doing it and it starts happening and you have your wife supporting you and you have your parents supporting you. And Deutz is a well-known last name in the area. That's some of the credit. I've lived here my whole life outside of college. That ties into a small town realtor too. Right. So, you got to give credit to where it's due, and the community's just helped me out very much. Tyler Bowen, I don't know if you know Tyler Bowen. He used to live here. That was the guy that was my first house that I ever got to sell on my own. Awesome. So that was super nice of him, and he didn't have to pick me. He was a businessman. He knew people that did it. That was my first house. Obviously, there's better agents than me at that point. Someone's got to take a chance on you, just like I kind of took a chance on myself. Yeah. Granted, I got to take baby steps into it and all that, but yeah, super fun.
Oh my, no, that's that's entrepreneurship living, right? Like that's it right there. You're just going for it. You don't know what you're gonna get, but you're gonna give it all. and just make sure you're doing your job right and keep going. What would you tell students that right now, are in college thinking about starting their own business, going off on this side of things? What are tips that you think you would have given yourself from like your college life? Like if you could talk to yourself in college right now, what would you tell yourself?
Man, I would have got licensed earlier. And I wouldn't have done that first job I did, even though I learned some stuff from that. That place gives me the heebie-jeebies every time I drive by it. I would say internships. Mm-hmm. Go do an internship with something that you think you're interested in. Find out who the best is or who will accept you as an intern, and go shadow them and see if you like them and ask them how you can get involved. There's too many people that do all of this schooling. 10 years sometimes. Right. Then they get to the job finally and they hate it. They hate it. And I'm not saying that you don't have to love every day of your job, and, the people that just love what they do and they don't care about the money. Yeah, that's great to an extent, but you still got to pay the bills. Go intern with somebody. Yeah. There's opportunities. Yeah, you might have to move. Again, you got to take a chance, but an intern's a pretty good chance. And do it, start doing it in your high school years if you can, and do it in your college years. People hire freshman interns. Yeah. There's always something you can do. Take an unpaid internship. Yeah. Don't be too proud.
Right, yeah. No, I love that. I wish I haven't taken internship since I was a freshman. I would be probably.
And study abroad. That's probably my biggest regret. I never did study abroad. My grandpa Ted, the funny guy, the auctioneer, a lot of my cousins, 19 first cousins is what I had here in Marshall. And a lot of my cousins did study abroad. And he would always ask, "Oh, which abroad are you studying?" So I always got a kick out of that. But I think that would be one of my biggest regrets that I didn't do. But you just learn a different dynamic. Like, I guess I can't speak from personal experience because I didn't do it. But from everything that I've been told, you just learn a different appreciation. If you have the opportunity, go do it. Yes. Do the opportunities. Get involved with the clubs. Don't wait till the end of your junior, midway through your senior year, like, I guess this is what I'm going to do.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I can tell you from personal experience, I love doing college abroad, staying abroad, coming from Brazil. It's kind of funny. Yeah. When I got here, I kind of started appreciating so many things that I had back home that I was like, oh my gosh.
Like warm weather?
Yeah, that too. It's not my favorite thing, but I'm getting used to it. They say at some point you do. It's been 6 years and I'm waiting for it.
It's a lie.
I'm starting to think it is, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really thankful for how the weather is going right now. Hopefully it will keep this way. But yeah, especially we talk about health insurance. When I came here, I was like, what is this? This is a joke, right? Sorry. I guess I can.
Well, you can say it is a joke. The health insurance industry is a disaster.
It's crazy.
She's looking around like someone here is going to snipe her or something for saying it.
You never know. Please don't hate me, people, but it is a joke. It's crazy. And back home, we have a public system for health insurance. Mm-hmm. It's not the best. Maybe you wait for 3 months to get an MRI if it's not urgent. I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. How are people waiting 3 months for an MRI? And then I get here that you pay $2,000 to talking for 2 minutes with a doctor. And I'm like,
Yeah, me and my wife joke about that a lot. But we've talked about health insurance enough, I think, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, going back, so I know you do a lot. Being an entrepreneur, I feel like you have to kind of combine so many different aspects of the business. I know you're very active on social media. And being on a small town, I feel like a lot of businesses are very passed through generations. And sometimes it's hard to keep up with the changes and new technologies and the different things that are trendy. How do you see yourself being a younger entrepreneur and using more social media on attracting more clients? I'm sure you see the return on it, but especially in the community we are in, how do you see that turning for you and being a very good competitive advantage for your business?
I can confidently say I think my team's social media is second to none. Marketing is my favorite part about my job. Yeah. I love learning how the consumer's mind ticks, and I don't love being attached to my phone, but it's kind of a necessary evil.
Right.
But leaning into the Instagram and the Facebook and TikTok a little bit. I've gotten business from all those platforms. People want to see their home be on there and be showcased. They want to learn about something that is more often than not their most valuable asset. So as long as you're providing content that is relevant, that is exciting, or they just want to learn about their neighbor's house, it works out. But you got to be consistent with it. And very early on, I spent a lot of time on it and was very diligent with it.
Yeah.
Hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no, you did for sure. I feel like there's always something new and evolving, and we got to keep up with everything. Otherwise, there's someone out there that's going to do it, right?
Yeah. Is Threads cool? Is Threads good?
I don't use Threads.
Okay, good. All right, good. Everyone's going thumbs down because, like, I downloaded it and I'm like, this sucks. Like, am I old now? Like,
I don't think,
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Going out of it, what is your favorite social media then?
Personal use or like for business wise?
Both. You can pick one for each if they're different.
Facebook has been my best return on investment so far. That's turning a little more towards Instagram. And I kind of like being on TikTok and X a little bit just because I don't have to have it full business all the time. And I share a lot of personal stuff on my Instagram and my Facebook page because I think it makes you human.
Right, exactly.
You know, if someone doesn't want to see my kids or my wife or my pickleball game or something like that, maybe I'm not the agent for you, but I'm also a real person. I'm black and white and let you into some of our life.
Yep,
so,
exactly.
I don't know, trying to engage the audience.
Yep. So. Can I tell you something? When you said Facebook, you kind of gave up your age just a little bit.
Oh, I knew what I was doing. But guess what? Facebook has made a lot of money. Yeah. And I would say from like 30 years plus, everyone, has a Facebook account. I've taught a bunch of careers classes at the high school in Minneota. And I'll typically ask, how many of you kids have Facebook accounts? Minneota kids actually had quite a bit. That was like 80% of them. That was surprising of the seniors. Yeah. But here it's like maybe like at the high school, maybe 30% of them have a Facebook account. I know it's not. Then that's why you have to do the TikTok. Mm-hmm. I had to download the Threads and see what it's about. Yeah. So that's why I'm asking those things too, because I want to stay current. Yeah. But yeah, I like scrolling TikTok, I guess. I spend less and less time personally on there. It's more business oriented. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, I like keeping up with friends and stuff too. Yeah. It's easier.
So when you go to high schools, what are like the main tips that you give to the students?
I'm very black and white with them. Like, just like I said, I'd be with you. Yeah. I tell them, cause real estate is what we talk about. I say, I tell them about all the good, but I also tell them about the bad, and probably more bad than good. And that's how I take people through houses. Mm-hmm. When I take a client through a house, I tell them more bad about the house than the good. They can see it's a nice kitchen. Right. They can see that it's got, a walk-in shower. My job is to show them the bad stuff. So I feel like with students, that's why we talked about the health insurance thing today, real world stuff, right? I tell them that, you have unlimited earning potential. It can be an awesome career. And we talk about how many agents there are and how many of them are successful, truthfully. Right. And so I say, you can have unlimited earning potential, but just know this, you can make negative money. And we talk about what health insurance costs. We talk about, I pay for my own signs. I pay for my own moving truck, my own moving trailer, my own drone. I have my drone pilot's license. That's all stuff out of your pocket as an entrepreneur. You need to account for that stuff. Right. But if you're not growing, like we're the only team in town that has an actual like U-Haul moving truck. Yeah. And we've got sponsors on the back of it, which help pay for the moving truck. Mm-hmm. Pretty fun. So it's just, you talk about those different things and try to cater it to them. But long story short, you tell them about the good stuff. You tell them what it takes to get there. But you got to tell them what the reality of all of it is. It's not all hunky-dory. We talk about, like, I ask them, do you guys watch any home TV shows like HGTV, like Love It or List It, those kind of shows. I hate those shows. But, most of them are like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, and you think, they show one house and you make 15 grand, you see, drive the nice cars, vacations, the clothes, the whole gamut.
Yeah.
I said, that's what you see. But then we try to really break it down to the surface level. And this is what it actually is.
Right.
So it can be that.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. Those are like my favorite shows.
I'm not saying they're not entertaining. They're just not realistic.
But would you change them? Yeah, I was going to say like they're not realistic at all.
Right.
Going, not on the show side, but if you could pick any other job or like career to follow right now, what would be?
What would I do?
Yeah.
I mean, if I could do it, I'd probably love to be a pro golfer.
Oh, there you go.
Pro pickleball player. Yeah, those are fun.
Do we have a pickleball like tournament in Marshall? We should.
Yeah, we do.
We do?
Yeah, me and my wife played one in Wilmer last weekend.
I'm missing out then.
Yeah, there's one at the Y here. It'll be in the spring. I want to say like March.
Is it?
Yeah, it's fun.
This is all important stuff for you as a real agent, like real estate agent too, right? Like showcase all the families, all the nice stuff we have to do in the community.
Absolutely.
Yes, I saw your Instagram reels, I think today about downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fun and it's good. It shows all the nice stuff that we have around town, different things they can do.
Do you know who Frank Sinatra is?
I do, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I like Frank.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, there, you got to hedge your expectations. Like Wang's axe throwing. It's so great that there's some entertainment in town for kids to go do.
Right.
And we need more of that.
Yeah.
But
we do.
we need someone else to take a chance.
Yes. All these college students listening to us, please take a chance.
Yeah.
Bring us some entertainment and nice stuff.
The city wants to help you. There's grants out there. There's things available. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not.
Right, yeah.
But, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And so, don't want to be like a tricky question, but I know we're in a very small town. What do you think it's the biggest difference from being a real estate agent in a small kind of rural area as we are in big cities? Do you think it's, I don't want to say like harder or easier, but do you see like main things that can bring some more obstacles in smaller towns?
Well, sure. I mean, everyone knows you or they don't know you. If you're not known in a small community, you're probably not going to be very successful. So, if you really invest in the community, put the time in and, pay attention and help people out where you can, it'll come around.
Yeah.
In the cities, yes, those things help, but there's so many agents in Minneapolis. I could name 8 friends that are outside of my real estate friends that I met through real estate, like 8 people that are doing real estate up there that are family or actual friends from college. And it's harder to get the business. Reward's a lot greater up there though. I mean, your average price point here is closer to 200,000. Up there, cripes, it's probably 350. So you do a lot less work. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to get scolded for that if any of my friends hear that, but I think you get where I was going with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you slip up in a small town, people will find out pretty quick.
Oh yes, a word goes around
pretty
fast.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Amen.
Do you do real estate and auctioneering? I'm sure as an auctioneer, probably in communities and towns around Marshall.
Yeah. I do a lot of benefit auctions, and we'll do some up in the Minneapolis area for benefits and some down in Sioux Falls sometimes, but primarily right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah. It's fun.
Let me think. George? Yes, anything you want to add? No? We cover it all. Do you think we cover it all, Troy?
No.
Is there anything? No? Tell us.
Do an internship and you can learn more.
I love that. Share your social media so people can follow you and find you.
Oh, what is it? Realtor Roy 1. Troy Deutz Edina Realty, if you put that on the Facebook, but that's not hip. So Realtor Roy 1 for TikTok and Instagram. Don't have to worry about that Threads handle.
Yeah, that was decided today. Not worth it, right?
Oh, no Threads, thank God. Yeah, amen.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us. We
me.
really appreciate it. Really do. Thank you for making the time to being here. We for sure really enjoyed it.
Oh, thanks for having me, and thanks for doing this podcast. It's a great idea.
Yeah, of course.